I've never taken a supplement in my life. And then I ran a 45-day test that several leading doctors have been recommending, and what happened isn't what I expected. My pickleball game improved, my jump rope got better, my golf swing, well, that's why we're here. Here's the thing though, I didn't even realize how much I declined until I tried it out. So I just finished a 45-day experiment, and I honestly didn't expect to amount to much. I've been doing fitness training for 40 years, the 5BX60 specifically. It's based on the legendary 5BX, 5 basic exercises developed by the Royal Canadian Air Force to keep pilots in peak condition at remote bases. The 60 version, that's the advanced program designed specifically for people over 60. Never taken a supplement ever, but several doctors I respect, the Medicine 3.0 crowd, kept talking about this certain supplement for people over 60, not for muscle building, but for brain function, balance, and something called spatial awareness. I thought, I'm the perfect test subject. I've got 40 years of consistent baseline fitness. Let's see if this stuff really does anything. So I did a proper test, tracked everything, and here's what's remarkable. I didn't notice anything at first. Week 1, nothing. Week 2, still nothing. But then, around week 3, something happened. And when I finally realized what had changed, it was stunning how much better I felt. Before we go any further, let me be clear about something. I'm not a serious golfer. I'm the guy who shows up for the social part. The beer cart is my favorite hole. I love being out here, love the challenges, but I'm not breaking any course records. My main sports are pickleball and jump rope, part of the 5BX60 program. But here's what I've learned about aging, and this is critical. We don't notice ourselves declining. It happens so gradually that our brains just adjust. You think you're doing fine, moving normally, coordinating just like you always did, but you're not. The balance isn't quite as sharp. Your spatial awareness, knowing where your body is in space, is degrading bit by bit. Your reaction time slows down, and because it happens over years, you have no idea how much you've lost. And that's what made this experiment so eye-opening. I didn't know how much I had declined until I got it back. Okay, so let's talk about spatial awareness for a second, because this is crucial for anyone over 60. Spatial awareness is your brain's ability to understand where your body is in space and how to move through it. It's how you judge distances, how you know where your limbs are without looking at them, how you coordinate complex movements, how you react to complex movements. When you're younger, you don't think about it. Your brain just knows. But after 60, this system starts to degrade, not dramatically, just gradually. So gradually, you don't even notice. Practice swing slower. You start misjudging distances by just a bit. Your balance feels slightly off, but you think that's just normal aging. You reach for something and your hand isn't where you thought it was, but you adjust without thinking about it. Your reaction time slows down, but you just assume that's how it is now. In golf, this shows up as inconsistent contact, timing that feels off. Balance issues throughout your swing. In pickleball, you're late to the ball. Your paddle isn't quite where you need it. In jump rope, you put the rope and you hit it more often because your spatial timing is off. But here's the thing. You can tap into this decline so completely you don't realize it's happening until suddenly it comes back. And that's when you realize how much you've lost. So here's why I'm actually the perfect person to test this. I've done the same fitness routine, 5BX60, for 4 decades. Same exercises, same consistency. I know my body. I know my baseline. With doctors like Peter Attia, Andrew Huberman, and others starting to talk about this compound, cognitive function and coordination in older adults, I was skeptical, but the research was solid. So I designed a simple test, 45 days, 5 grams a day, track everything. My pickleball performance, my jump rope consistency, my balance exercises, and yes, my golf game, even though that wasn't even the focus. Week 1, nothing noticeable. Week 2, maybe slight improvement. Could be placebo. I was starting to think this whole thing was just overhyped. Week 3, okay, something's happening. But I couldn't quite put my finger on it. By week 4, My pickleball partners started asking me what I was doing differently. My jump rope sessions felt cleaner, more rhythmic. And out here on the range, the contact was suddenly way more consistent. But here's what's wild. I didn't realize how significant the change was until I really started paying attention, and that's when it hit me. I wasn't just getting better at these activities, I was getting back abilities I didn't even know I had lost. The first place I really noticed it was on the pickleball court. Pickleball is all about reaction time and spatial judgment. The ball is coming at you fast. You need to judge distances instantly, position your paddle, and execute. Around day 25, I was getting the balls that I normally missed. At first, I thought I was just having a good day, but it kept happening. I was reading the trajectory better. My brain was processing spatial information faster. My paddle was where it needed to be, when it needed to be there. And that's when I had the stunning realization I hadn't been having bad days before. I had been in decline, gradual, invisible decline. For years, I've been adapting for spatial awareness without even knowing it. I thought I was moving normally, but actually I was compensating for deficits I didn't even know I had. Same thing with jump rope. Jump rope is pure rhythm and timing. You need to know exactly where the rope is in space without looking at it. Suddenly, I was hitting long stretches without hitting the rope. Not because I was trying harder, but because my body adjusted and knew where the rope was. The spatial awareness was sharper, way sharper than I remembered it being. But wait, if it's sharper than I remember, that means I forgot what normal felt like. That was the stunning part. I'd been living in a degraded state for so long, I thought it was normal. Now remember, I'm not a great golfer, but I know when good contact feels like versus bad contact. And when I came out here with that realization, everything was different. The club face was meeting the ball more consistently. My balance through the swing felt rock solid. That feeling about where the club is headed space, I had clarity like I had never experienced in years. And here's what I think is happening. Golf requires that you track everything simultaneously. Where's the ball? Where's the club? Where's my body? How far is the target? All that is spatial processing. When your spatial awareness improves, dramatically improves, all those calculations get faster, more accurate. You're not thinking about it. Your brain just handles it better. But it's not just better. It's better than it's been in years, maybe a decade. The result, more consistent contact, better balance, improved timing. All things that I thought I'd lost to aging. Turns out I hadn't lost them to aging, I lost them to declining spatial awareness. And once that system started working efficiently again, everything came back. So let's talk about what I was actually taking and why this happens. The compound is called creatine. Now, most people hear creatine and immediately think of bodybuilders and gym supplements, but that's not what this is about. Creatine's primary job is to help us produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That's the body's instant energy source. Most people know it helps muscles. That's the bodybuilder connection. But your brain uses more ATP almost than any other organ, especially the parts that handle spatial processing, coordination, and quick decision making. When your brain has more available energy, it processes spatial information faster and more accurately. It makes better predictions about where objects are and where they're going. It coordinates your body movements more precisely. And here's the key. As we age, our natural creatine production increases. The decline is so gradual we don't notice it. We just adapt and compensate, lower our expectations. We think this is just getting older, but when you supplement with creatine and your brain suddenly has an ATP again, that's when you realize that decline wasn't inevitable, it was a fuel problem. Studies on older adults show creatine improves working memory to track multiple objects, processing speeds, which affects reaction time, and executive function, which coordinates complex movements. All that shows up in activities like golf, pickleball, and jump rope. Anything that requires precise coordination. It's not magic. It's just your brain running at full capacity again. Maybe the first time in years, and that's when you realize how much you've lost. Now, before you think this turned me into Tiger Woods, I'm still very much a recreational golfer. I still wait eagerly for the beer cart. I still hit plenty of bad shots. But here's the difference. My bad shots aren't as bad. My good shots are way more repeatable. I'm not hitting it farther, I'm hitting it more consistently. The club is making solid contact more often. My misses are smaller. My balance never feels shaky, and honestly, the game is more enjoyable because I'm not fighting my own coordination. That feeling of I used to do this better, that is gone because now I can do it better. And that's what's so stunning about this whole experience. I didn't realize how much I'd been living with that nagging feeling of decline. I used to be sharper, I used to react faster, I used to have better balance. All that went away when my spatial awareness came back, because it turns out I can still be that sharp, I can still be that fast, I can still have that balance. My body didn't forget, it just needed the right fuel. Here's what I want everyone over 60 to understand. The activities that you love, golf, pickleball, tennis, even just walking without tripping, all depend heavily on spatial awareness. And that system declines with age. But here's the part that nobody tells you. You adapt to that decline so gradually you don't even know it's happening. You just accept it. I'm getting older. My coordination isn't what it used to be. I've lost a step. But what if you haven't lost anything permanently? What if your brain just needs better fuel? That's what this 45-day test showed me. When you give your brain the energy that it needs to process spatial information properly, your coordination improves, your balance improves, your confidence improves, and most importantly, you realize how much you've been living in a degraded state without even knowing it. That is the stunning part. Not just that you can improve, but that you decline so much more than you realized. I've been doing fitness for 40 years, and I've never seen a single intervention have this much influence on functional coordination. Not exercises, not balance training, not practice. This was different. This was like turning the lights back on after you realize you've been living in dim light for years. Quick important note. I'm a fitness instructor, not a medical doctor. Everything I'm sharing is from my personal 45-day test and what I observed. Creatine is one of the most studied supplements in the world. The research on older adults is extensive and generally very positive. But you need to talk to your own doctor before trying it. Show them the research. Discuss your specific health situation. For me, it was an easy decision based on the science and the doctors I trust, and the results spoke for themselves. They were stunning. How much had changed. But make your own informed choice with your healthcare provider. Here's the bottom line. Spatial awareness affects everything you do after 60. How you move, how you play, how confident you feel in your own body. The decline is so gradual you don't even notice it happening. You just adapt, you compensate, you lower your expectations. What if you don't have to, though? What if a significant portion of you think is normal aging is actually just an energy deficit in your brain? When your brain processes spatial information efficiently, everything feels more coordinated, more controlled, more like it used to. And that's when you have the stunning realization you didn't lose these abilities, they were just dormant, waiting for the right fuel. For someone who's been training consistently for 40 years and thought there wasn't much room for improvement, that is pretty remarkable. What's more remarkable is realizing how much I've declined without even realizing it. So here's what I want to know from you. Have you noticed changes in your coordination, your balance, your spatial awareness? Or more importantly, have you adapted to changes so gradually you don't even realize that it's happened? Drop a comment and tell me. If you're curious about creatine, the research behind it, or how to set up your own 45-day test to see what you've been missing, join me this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific. We'll go deep. The actual studies on creatine and aging, how to set up your own test, what to track and how to measure results, and how to recognize improvements you may not even realize you're having. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and if you found this interesting, share it with someone over 60 who's adapted to declining coordination without even realizing it. Spatial awareness can be improved. Coordination can be supported. You don't have to accept decline as inevitable. You'd be amazed at how much you've lost without even knowing it. Keep aging strong. I'll see you on Wednesday.